Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Generational Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly, the 27-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the Showstopper. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka Tuco Kimber in the building. Brother, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself, man?
I'm good. I'm good. And today, man, we got somebody special, right?
Oh, right.
I've been praying on this one. I've been asking the wrestling guys to do me a favor. Too Cold, you can attest to this. We
Yeah.
got former NWA Women's Champion. You can catch her every Wednesday night now on AEW All Elite Wrestling's Dynamite. Miss Thunder Rosa, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking. I'm just relaxing at home.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we have you on. Too Cold to tell you. My main goal for this year, we said, you know what, we want to start the year off right. We had a couple of guests already lined up, but we both agreed if we can get Rosa on the show, we're gonna bump them back and we're gonna have her as the first guest. So you are our first guest of 2021. So
Well,
thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. I've been playing hard to catch lately with people.
Understandably so. I mean, you've been you've been someone that's most definitely someone a lot of people want to see on TV a lot more. You're very good at what you do, and we have a few questions. We definitely want to ask you as far as what got you into this business, and what motivated you, to want to be a wrestler.
It's not like I was saying this yesterday. It wasn't like I wanted to be a wrestler. It just happened. Like, it. I was a fan. I was at an older age, and it just the drama and the physicality of the sport really got me. That's what got me to wanting to be a wrestler.
Was it more of you wanted to be a wrestler, or were you more into MMA? I know you.
No, I was MMA came after. Like I was not
Okay.
interested in MMA. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, question. So you're built from Texas now, but where are you born at originally? I know you were born in Mexico. What part?
Tijuana.
Tijuana. Now, speaking of Tijuana, you got many greats. You got Eddie, you got Ray, and then of course, you look at some of the Mexican superstars now. You got you got Penta El Cetro Miendo, you got Ray Phoenix. How does it feel to be a part of such a great wrestling legacy like that? Because when you look at the Mexican wrestlers and the lucha libre wrestlers that's come over to the States, they're larger than life. And the one thing about Thunder Rosa, you're larger than life. Why do you think you're so over and uh, the Mexican wrestling stars are so over with the American audience?
I don't know. It's just I feel like there's something about Thunder Rosa that people feel kind of connected to, and I can't really pinpoint what it is. I know when DJ Christopher, I'm like getting all my names all messed up from
No
like
problem.
Lucha Underground. CJ came and told me if I wanted to join Lucha, it was he said it was because I had the it factor, whatever that is, right?
Right.
Sometimes when you are a wrestler, you either are very talented or you are very talented and charismatic. So I think I have both. I'm talented and I'm charismatic. So I think like that it's another thing that really draws people into the character, and it makes it interesting. Like I said, I was born in Mexico, but I never trained in Mexico. Like many of my peers, like Penta, Phoenix, all of them, they started in Mexico. I barely, I think I can count with one hand how many times I wrestled in Mexico.
Right.
And yeah, I think another thing that people enjoy is that they understand because I speak English, so they
Right.
they can't understand. They're like, oh my god, she speaks English, and even like my Latino fellow fans, they're like, oh my god, you speak Spanish. I'm like, yeah, I speak Spanish. So it's very surprising. They don't know that I speak Spanish because I'm always speaking English. But I think that will be the reason why people are so drawn into the character. And plus, painting my face as a sugar skull, like that's another thing. Like people really enjoy that, and it's a different look.
Oh, awesome.
Tuco, you up next, brother.
Well, the World Wonder Ring stardom. What was that like for you? For that to be kind of the first place that you get your start in this business. Just coming in. Like, what was it like? Just that journey.
It was a very eye-opening journey. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have had the drive that I have. I mean, I had it, but I have it even more. I know that because of the color of my skin, because of my accent, because of my background, if I didn't work super hard, I wasn't gonna make it anywhere. And it was very obvious when I went there that what was my role as a wrestler, and that was a driving force to be the unstoppable person that I am now. And I never accept no as an answer. And it made me realize a lot of a lot of the things that we as people of color have to deal with, and how do we have to overcome it to be successful in business.
Oh, when you moved on to Lucha Underground and you got there, what was there any real plans for you to kind of be the new dominant force, or were you kind of just the new it, the kind of new it factor for right now? What was it like when you transitioned to that stage of your life?
I think it was they were giving me a chance. They were trying to see what my skills were. Like the first year, I was definitely very green. I was not
Mhm.
ready. I was not ready to be in the ring and having like 5-star matches. I mean, I tried my best, but skill wise, I wasn't there yet. I tried, like I said, I tried my best. It was very difficult. Like some people were not very kind of putting a green person over, and it was very obvious. They made it very obvious to me. So um, and my goal on the second season was to be over, even if I wasn't wrestling, because that's like just a testament of how good of a performer you can be by having a character completely over and not even stepping the ring once. So I think that was, again, that was something that I don't think the producers were expecting, because like they
Right.
really, like people really like the character on season 3, and I didn't really wrestle. I wrestled more on season 4, which nobody watched anyways. But the whole entire time that I was there, I was working on bettering my skills. I didn't stop wrestling. I didn't stop working on my lucha skills, and I went and travel and I went to Mexico. I was training in LA. I was training in San Jose. I was traveling a lot to get all the skills that I needed so people could see what I could do by the next time that I got in the ring. Unfortunately, again, like the cards didn't play out well, and not a lot of people saw season 4, and that was the last season that we had. And then, as you guys know, it unfolded. So
Right.
I mean, it folded, but again, it was a great experience. It wasn't it didn't translate to what I wanted to translate, but that's okay. That's like part of the journey.
So you say you did a lot of traveling. And one thing I've noticed about you is that you wrestled in many promotions, but your use of social media. A lot of superstars, a lot of athletes, a lot of celebrities, they have social media. And the power of social media is something that's really great, because I knew of Thunder Rosa before I even seen you wrestle a match. And it's because I follow so many other wrestling superstars, whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact, whatever the case may be. And I will always see you pop up on my Explore page. So one day, about a year and a half ago, I'm like, you know what? Click. All right, let's see. Okay, wrestling, cool. What did she wrestle for? All right, let me YouTube her. And I started seeing your matches on YouTube. I'm like, wow, this woman is pretty good. And then, of course, you made the transition over to NWA. You became the NWA Women's Champion, the first ever Mexican-born woman to hold the title. And then you show up on AEW, which is arguably right now probably the second biggest, if not, going head to head with WWE, biggest promotion. So how did that translate for you, being able to just kind of be an independent contractor and wrestle for who you wanted to wrestle for, and then also now benefiting by being on the second biggest stage in the world, and that being AEW?
Well, it's. I mean, you guys know I'm not with AEW. I'm with NWA, so it's a
Right,
little it's a little difficult because you're on a contract constraints, and you can't just grab your shit and go wherever you want to go. Like you have to
right.
like go on chain command and do all that good stuff. I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah,
it's. I mean, it is a blessing too that I'm right now wrestling for AEW, and it's all everything goes through NWA,
Okay.
and I'm in a really good spot right now. I mean, I can't deny that being into companies, it's good, and how people are taking the character. They want to see it all the time. They're asking for it, and they enjoy the matches, and I'm really, my commitment to my fans and my commitment to professional wrestling is every time I step in the ring, even if it's in the dark match, it's put one of the best dark matches that is on the night. I always have put a good performance. That's my goal number one. No matter with who I step in the ring with, and tell a good story. again, my commitment to excellence for myself is that I always gonna give my 100%, 120,000% on everything I do, and it shows. So yeah, it is harder not to be able to go and wrestle whatever everywhere I go, but at the same time, it's all good, man. Like it's right now, this 2021 is gonna allow me to focus on a lot of other things that I need to focus on. Right now, I'm teaching. I need to focus on getting my things together to start getting ready for a fight if that happens, all that stuff. So it's a lot that when I'm traveling I'm not able to do, and also work on my craft. Like there's a lot of stuff that I can still work on, and the best of the best that I worked before, they never stop training. So again, it's a commitment. Once 2021 ends and I'm gonna be a free agent, I want to be able to be on my best, and I'm gonna be able to be like, to show the numbers and show my value, and I'm not gonna allow anybody to dictate what am I worth, because I already know my worth.
Right, absolutely. And speaking of teaching, so I know you got Mission Pro Wrestling. Can you please talk to us and tell us a little more about Mission Pro?
Yes, first of all, we're having a show on February 6th. I have a cage match against Allison Kay. This will be our third match. I'm working on doing some promotional stuff for this match. This is very important. I never had a cage match. And definitely, this is something that it's on her alley. She has a lot more experience doing this. Again, I'm not going to, she can't take that. I have like a lot of heart, and I give everything that I can on any fight that I have.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty intense. And then we have really awesome matches coming up. It's February 6th. You guys can watch on titlematchnetwork.com. You can subscribe and watch it there, or you can come and watch the show here live in Buddha and Pinballs. We run that show every 6 or 8 weeks, and people have been very, very good. So far, we have sold, without like a lot of promotional stuff, almost half of the tickets.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're blessed. We're blessed that we're getting a lot of support.
Most definitely. I wanted to ask you about your face paint, what you wear. Is that does it symbolize something? Is there meaning behind it when you wear it or when you put it on, or is it just part of the monarch of your character of who you are?
No, it actually has a meaning. It's like I said, it's the Day of the Dead. I represent all of those that didn't make it, have passed away, and I represent them every time I get in the ring.
Oh,
that's like really my fight paint, my warrior paint.
Warrior paint. Yeah. Okay. Well, I love it. And he got me interested into you. He told me a lot about you. And when you debuted on AEW and you came out, and you had that promo where you pretty much just challenged the women in that division. You wanted to fight the best of the best, and you ended up fighting with Sheeta, and you guys had a very a great match. And that I'm like, okay, this is someone new, someone I haven't really seen much of, but I definitely want to see more of. And I'm loving what you're doing with Britt Baker right now. But I wanted to ask you about your match with Sheeta. What was that? Maybe possibly one of the tough matches you've had to face to date so far? Well, at least your opponent.
On,
I mean, opponent wise.
Come on, man.
I mean, opponent wise. I mean,
I wrestle men. Like I wrestle. Yeah. I mean, it was hard because of the the conditions, but no, man, that was a blast for me. It was it's.
It looked like it.
There is no challenge for Thunder Rosa. Let's put it that way. I'll fight anybody. So.
And it's funny you said that, because the one thing I love about your style of work in the ring is everything you do, you make everything look 100% legit. When you go in there, I really feel like when Thunder Rosa's in the ring, Thunder Rosa's in there literally whooping everybody's ass all the time. And that's what I love about you. And that's what I think is kind of missing in a lot of certain matches. I mean, it's cool to have certain spots and stuff like that, but like you said earlier, the storytelling, that's the most important part of the match. You can do 100 backflips in a row, but if you don't tell that story, and if you don't sell that story, then the match kind of loses its luster. But with you, the one thing me and him was talking about was the AEW women's division, and we seen where it was going, and then it's like, okay, there's a lot of potential here. And then you get the NWA alliance with AEW. So a couple like you, Serena Deeb, and a couple others have come over, kind of swap talent. and to see you in the field with Britt Baker, I'm gonna tell you right now, I want to see it 1, 2, 3, a million times. But you and Britt Baker actually have a little bit of a pass in the ring. Is that correct?
Yeah, we used to wrestle in RH actually.
Yeah. So I seen that. I seen that you were part of the Twisted Sisters. So I know you had this gimmick, Serpentine.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this match. I believe it was the Wild Women of Wrestling championship match, main event. You and Tessa Blanchard, hell of a match, great match by the way. So my thing is to you, for a woman who said that she got into the sport of wrestling a little late, what did you envision yourself doing before you became a pro wrestler?
I wanted to be a social worker.
Really?
Yep, that was my trade. I was gonna go to grad school, and I had all my papers for grad school ready to be sent. And then wrestling happened, and I still have the papers there. One day I'll send them.
So when did you kind of realize like you can actually make this a career, not something just a hobby, but you can really make a living off of this?
When I lost the money that I invested for the school,
Wow.
that's when I said I gotta get it back 50,000% and more. Yeah, that's right there. And then
Too cold.
So when you wrestle in ROH, what would I want to? What was it like wrestling ROH? You know, a company that had been around for a minute. You know, it was kind of like uh, TNA and everything else. What was it like being there and just wrestling in that organization?
I think for me it was more like the networking that I was able to create. I worked
Right.
with a lot of the people that worked there before, and then they transitioned into AEW. In terms of the women's division, I mean, as you guys can see, there's not a lot of women's division going on right now, you know.
Right.
So it's like the women's division in a lot of companies is something that is lacking still,
Mhm.
Right.
and they were trying to do something, but it never kind of like it was never enough, you know. So I mean, that was cool. It's a good opportunity. People watch the stuff on TV because they had a thing on TV and they can see it here on like in Texas and stuff. And a lot of people here in Texas are like, oh my God, you're on TV and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, man. But it never like translated to be like, okay, I'm gonna sign with them, or nothing was offered to me. It was gonna like just come and do like one off and whatever. So yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. It's like I feel like again, for some people, the women's division is an afterthought. Still.
Right.
Which is sad because you look at, I mean, there's so many great women wrestlers, and you look across all the promotions, and you could at least pick 3 or 4 at minimum. And it's crazy because we, the fans, are actually yearning for more women. So how does that make you feel? Not to put you on the spot, but as a female competitor, and that's one of the best. And like you said, you've wrestled men, and I will go on the record and say you're better than quite a few men. With that being said,
Most
and
definitely.
that's being
Thank you.
honest. Honestly, so with that being said, how does that make you feel to know that people want to see more females get a bigger spotlight, but you guys kind of being pigeonholed, not necessarily with any particular company, but just in wrestling as a whole?
Uh, well, if you're gonna give an opportunity and you're gonna be given the space, you better perform. That's my
Absolutely.
100% thing. Otherwise, it's like, see, this is the reason why we don't put the girls. Like, you see this, you see that. I
Right.
hear it all the time. Like, you know, so it's like no, like it's ingraining in our heads. It's like you have to perform better, and you have to be better than the men. That's it. Bottom line.
Most definitely. Well, you're most definitely in a class where you're like you say, you're better than most men. And with that, who has there ever been any opportunity or chance for you to possibly maybe go to WWE? Has they ever reached out to you
Um,
to see any, prior to you, signing with NWA or anybody else? But has there ever been any interest from them?
well, the only reason why they reached out to me is because I was in a point in my career where I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, nobody was like reaching out to me. Like, nobody gave a shit about what I was doing. It's like right after I got out of Lucha Underground. So I was telling my friend, you know what, I might as well just be a ref. Like, do you know if like you're interested in like a ref? Like, I've done it before. And then he was like, yeah. So somebody contacted me. I was supposed to do the tryout, but then life happened, and I it didn't happen. So everything else happened. I got signed with Combate. I got signed with NWA, and then all that just stay there. They haven't contacted me again. I'm under contract right now And I don't know what like I said, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if they're gonna contact me or not. Like I said, I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna focus on my career. I'm gonna focus on Mission Pro Wrestling. And if that happens, they contact me. They contact me. They don't. They don't. Like I said, I'm not gonna let one contract dictate my happiness on what I'm doing in this business. And yes, it will be amazing to have financial security. But sometimes, like for some people, it happens. For some people, it doesn't. Like I said, I'm really happy with the opportunity that I have right now working at NWA and AEW. My peers have a lot of respect for me. I have a lot of respect for my peers, and AEW has been amazing to me. Just by being the step cousin right now.
Well,
Speaking of combates, do you have a certain number of fights on your deal, or is it how does that deal work?
It's a 2-year contract or 4 fights, either whatever comes first. I think my contract is up in September, but with the current situation with COVID, I don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, like I want to fight when there's people in the crowd. Like I don't want to fight in an empty, because it's like. A lot of them, like, let's be honest, a lot of the money that comes for fighters is sponsorships and ticket sales. There's no ticket sales. It's like, so it's like
money. Right.
It's all about money, man. If I'm investing all this stuff, like I need to get something back, especially because my career, my professional wrestling career is going up, and it can be, it's a gamble. So I have to be very mindful what I do. But I do want to fight, though. Like, don't get me wrong. I love training. It's grueling. It's excruciating. It's painful. But I love the transformation and seeing how much I can learn and how much I can beat somebody's ass at the end of the day. So, yes, I do want to fight.
Well, speaking of no fans, how has it been for you as a wrestler? Because so much of wrestling is, crowd reaction. How is that having limited fans as opposed to having that whole venue packed out?
Like I told you, man, when you're a performer and you care about wrestling, even if there is nobody in that place, I leave my 1,000% in there. Watch my match with Priscilla Kelly. Watch my match when I lost my championship with Serena Deeb. In that match, I gave it all.
Yes,
it was everything in there. It was so emotional. Every single move, every hold, everything. It was pain. Just because I had 5 people recording it didn't mean anything. I'm a performer, and it doesn't matter if there's 3 people on the crowd or if there's 0 people on the crowd. I'm still giving my all because this is how much I love professional wrestling.
You've done some time. You've done some time in Japan. What was that like? I'm sorry. Tokyo. Yeah. What was that like for you being over there and getting that experience?
I am so mad because last year at this time I was in Japan in a show. And I was enjoying Wrestle Kingdom. And then 3 days after, I got the influenza. I almost died out there by myself.
Oh my God.
I love Japan. I can't wait to go back to Japan. Honestly, that's what I was telling my husband earlier. Like, that's my second home. Japan is my second home. I love it. That's how a lot of my toughness came from there, because the people that were my senpais, the people that were my veterans, they really put that in my head, like that you have to be tough, that you have to be a certain type of person to make it in the business. They were very different than all the other people that I know, right? And now every time I go back out there, it's like, for me, it's like a vacation, but it's not a vacation. I love it. I love the fans. I love the style of wrestling. And right now I work for Tokyo Joshi Pro. It's under DDT Wrestling, and in that promoter, I will tell you that when I went back there, I was a little nervous because I never felt like they respected me as a wrestler. And my last match, it was a championship match that I had. And he came at the end, shook my hand and said, "You are a great wrestler. We want you to come back." To have that said to me by a promoter. And then later on, I was able, around this time, I was the first ever foreign wrestler crowned to be the international princess champion for that company. That meant a lot. Like, they knew that I had talent. Like, there are very few people that I knew that I could carry a title that way. And that means a lot, man. Because I'm a lot older than a lot of the girls that are in the roster. In Japan, they like them very young. So that's one of my main goals. I know it sounds stupid and sounds vain, and but it's like you have to stay looking crisp, fit, and young, so you can continue to have a job, and especially in Japan, right? But yeah, I'm really sad I didn't get to defend my championship in Japan. I was supposed to, but fucking COVID destroyed everything. So I'm just kind of like here, like, waiting for the doors to be open because I'm going back.
Well, I was going to say, are you still having conversations with them and possibilities of whenever, not knowing when something may open up, but is there at least still conversations going on between you two?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's the plan. The plan is still there for. If I go there, I'll be the first to try to take the championship away from whoever has it, and then we'll see. But like I said, I'm not waiting on a chair sitting down. Whenever it happens, it happens, and if it never happens, I'm happy that I was the champion in Japan. Who can say that, right?
No, I got a question.
Especially being the first one. Yeah, not from there to win it. Yeah, most definitely. So
Now I got a question for you. We have WrestleMania here. That would probably be like our Super Bowl. Well, Wrestle Kingdom is like the WrestleMania there in Japan. Can you explain what is the feeling like being there at Wrestle Kingdom, especially with it being a multi-night event?
That's crazy, man. Like the fans are like super into it. Like I mean, I've seen them, but they're like the most live that I've seen fans in Japan. And there's like people from all over the world. I've seen people that I haven't seen in years that were there. I'm like Thunder Rosa, and I was like, oh shit, you know me? This is like so. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really really cool. And like I said, I made a lot of good friends. Like we were just like sending each other DMs. I'm like, hey man, remember last year we were at some like bar, just like hanging out and having a good time. Because like after the shows, we go and hang out at the bars. We just eat and just like share a lot of cool stuff, right? And it's sad that life is so different right now, and we're not able to do that.
yeah.
With that being said, I want to kind of go back earlier. You said you wrestle men. To me, I'm actually a fan of intergender matches, depending on how it's structured. What is your feeling about intergender matches? Because there's a big debate whether it should be allowed, should it not be allowed. Me personally, I'm a fan of it. You actually being a participant of it, do you think that intergender matches should be more featured now?
Um, that's a really good question, and I think it depends on the promoter. I think if they feel that it's um, something that they can market, I will say, yeah, go for it. But if I don't, like, people need, yeah, you can advocate whatever you want, but not everybody's ready to see something like that, right?
Right.
Especially when a woman is getting the heat and all that stuff and getting beat up, it could be a
Yeah.
little traumatizing for some people. So, I mean, in the indies, yes, it's very profitable and it's really fun because we're allowed to work with men that are very talented and we're able to do things that we're not able to, or not capable to do with other women because of the skill level, right?
Right.
And like I said, us working in Lucha Underground, a lot of us work intergender matches all the time, right? And there was a lot of criticism about that, but that was the market that were like Lucha Underground was completely different, and there's never going to be something like that.
Right.
We were like ahead
How
of our time.
how was it working in Lucha Underground, especially because going back to like AEW and NWA, it's structured more like a TV show, but
Hmm.
Lucha Underground is kind of like a TV show and a wrestling match and a soap opera. How was it trying to put together a show like that with it being so different, but the base is still pro wrestling, but it's so different?
It was, I can't even explain to you. It's the performers, the PAs, the producers, everybody was, they were like, everybody was different. It was very Hollywood. It was very Hollywood meets lucha libre and wrestling, and I had a lot of fun. I learned so much from that place, and like working on all the other places that I work, it was just like it was top notch. I mean, like I will probably, it will be close to working like in AEW, like the type of production that they have, right?
Mhm. Right.
Um, and, and I don't know, like for me, it was a blessing, and it helped me to grow as a performer so much faster than I would have ever done it because I was forced to do it. I was working with the best, and like the matches were recorded, and I can't tell you, it's very few times where people had to like re-record something. Everybody was like wrestling like it was the last match of their life.
Right.
Seriously, it was great. It was like I think about it and like I talked to some of my peers and like, hey, remember when you used to do all this stuff? I'm like, hey, dude, I can't even recall like the craziness that we used to do all the time. But that's what it was the expectation. Like we had to go balls to the wall all the time. But again, sadly, it's gone and it's done, and we just have the memories.
I see that you were the trios champion. Who were the other two people that you were with, and how long was that? That title run was for you guys while you were there.
We won them, and the show was over.
Oh, oh no,
it was Daga and Sammy Callahan.
Sally. Okay, so you guys got to leave the show as the trios champion.
Yes, we still
Oh,
like
that's
we're the
awesome.
trios champion. Yeah.
So awesome. You got a belt to your collection.
So you said Sammy Callahan and Daga. One thing that's very similar with AEW and Lucha Underground, you have people who wrestled in WWE, all these other companies, right? And everybody kind of mixed together. Um, Guys like Rey Mysterio and people like that. How is it working with other people from other companies? I mean, yeah, you know, you guys want to go out and be the best in your individual shows and brands and stuff like that. But how is it being cool with these people in real life, but still going out and trying to kick their ass in the ratings or just put on a better match or, prove you're the better performer? How is it having so many different types of people with so many companies?
I mean, you just gotta perform and do your thing, right? Everybody's different. Like you just have to match their level of intensity, and that's pretty much it. And then she'll tell the story. I don't know if that was like the answer that you're looking for, but I think that's pretty much how I feel.
No, absolutely. My thing is this. So you said you've never been in a cage match. What is one match you've never been a part of that you would love to have before you call it quits?
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I always do very simple stuff. I won what is it, best of 7, something like that.
Uh-huh.
I won like a long, you
Oh,
know, I was like either like the last one will be a TLC or like no disqualification. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that I like to do. What else? Like at 2 out of 3 falls, kind of like championship kind of thing. And just, people don't do that very often.
Right.
I don't know, but definitely a TLC match. But it has to be on TV. I'm not doing it on the indies. uh, Something big, like it has to be big, so it could be. It has, like I said, it has to be for TV. Like any crazy stuff that I've done it on TV.
Right. What is one person, male or female, before it's all said and done, you have to get in the ring with? What's your dream opponent?
Mm, mm. Well, one day I will get on the ring with Beth Phoenix, even if it's never gonna be broadcasted. And Sarah Stock, whenever she comes back. That's pretty much it. Like guys, I don't know. I wrestle with a lot of guys, so I don't know.
Right. Damn, you and Beth Phoenix, that'd be a hell of a match, man. Too cold, man.
right. I was about to say, I'm like, wow. What made you? What is it about Beth Phoenix that you say that she's that one person that, man, if I ever get that opportunity, I want to go toe to toe with her.
What was that?
I said, what is it about Beth Phoenix that makes you say that's the one person? If I could choose one person, she's that person I want to go toe to toe with.
Her athletic abilities. Like she's always been so good. Like I've seen how she was able to do a bunch of stuff with like a lot of the talent back in the day, and she make them look absolutely amazing. Now that I'm a worker, and I'm like, now I can see the difference.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, with you now having your feud with Britt Baker, in AEW right now, is
Yes.
there any opportunity for you to maybe once go back after the NWA Women's Championship once you're done? Once you dispose of Britt Baker and put her back in her place, is there any opportunity for you to go back for the championship?
If I knew the answer, I wouldn't tell you anyways.
Oh, I tried. I tried.
Nah, you try, right?
I
Hey, at least
tried.
you
I
try.
had to try. I had to try.
Okay, so you in AEW, NWA. My question is this. We already know that because of the pandemic, this is something that kind of happened that normally otherwise would not have happened. Do you think more companies moving forward will try to merge with other companies and kind of do the whole talent share thing? Like, what do you think is, to me, I think this is awesome because obviously with COVID, there's a lot of talent in AEW and other companies
Hmm.
too who aren't able to compete. So with you coming over, that's awesome because, you had Chris Statlander, she got hurt, and a couple other AEW women who either got hurt or, just aren't on TV for whatever reason. What do you think about talent swapping? Like, do you think that's something that should stay after the pandemic, or do you think it's going to kind of stop once everything kind of goes back?
Like I said, if it's profitable for the company, why not? I think it has to do with like if it's good for the company. Yeah, it's good for talent, but it's had to be also profitable for both parties, right?
Right. Now, I know you weren't a big wrestling fan growing up. You kind of got into it, but you're super athletic. So my thing was, growing up, did you play any other sports growing up, or
No,
this is just
I
natural ability?
learned everything when I was older.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow. So how much longer do you see yourself going in the ring? What's the time limit for Thunder Rosa?
I'm probably gonna go another. I've been saying this for like 3 years, three, 2 to 3 years, and I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to wrestle after I'm 40. I think I'm at 40. I want to like chill for a minute.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, if I want to have kids, I might want to have them before I'm 40, and I'm kind of
Right.
hitting that pretty soon. But I don't know. I don't know.
All right, one more thing. One more MMA run after this,
Yeah,
or are you
I
done?
think I know. I
One
think
more?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Too
I
cold.
definitely.
You up, brother?
Uh, as far as NWA, your what has the relationship been for you there? And just in NWA, just as far as how they treated you and what they allow you to do that maybe some other companies have not, the opportunities that they present to you.
Well, I'm working for AEW.
But
So no. What I'm saying is that
I'm
that's my answer to you. Like, I'm NWA signed and I'm working for AEW. Like, it couldn't get any better. Like, the platform is just got bigger,
right.
and I'm really happy for that.
But even before that, I mean, what was it like before that?
It was great. I mean, they were the first ones to like give me like a real platform for me. I mean, I'm not gonna deny that. I became the NWA Women's World Champion, and I held that for quite a while. Yes, I did it a lot on my own because of the COVID, and I stay because we couldn't run shows. So it's like that's one of the reasons, right?
Right.
So you just make the best situation out of the worst situation that you could be, especially because we didn't have work. But and I never expected that this relationship with AEW was going to be as good as it is right now. So I'm very thankful to Billy Corgan and Tony Khan for this happening.
Now, with you being at AEW right now, you guys have been running, working with AEW, I should say. You guys have run all your shows out of Jacksonville. You're flying back home to Texas. I know it kind of sucks because you're not out on the road as much, but how great is it to really only have to honestly work one show a week as opposed to, balls to the wall 5-6 days a week?
I mean, I'm always tired, man. I'm always working. So when I'm out there, I'm like, when I'm not working, I'm working. I'm doing other stuff, my side projects and stuff. But
Right.
it's really cool. It's really cool. It's really nice.
Now, speaking of other side projects, I know you got Mission Pro. What are some other things you're working on outside of the ring?
I'm working on developing some stuff for educational stuff that had to do with Mission Pro. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for the next couple of months. I'm also working on other projects in terms of my social media, getting more sponsorships from bigger companies and stuff. And I think I need to get my gadgets together to work again on my YouTube and all that stuff. It's just like very time consuming. And I don't. Well, I mean, I'm teaching now.
Right.
I teach 9 hours a week on the school, and I need to start training. So that's another 20 hours that I gotta add to everything all that I'm doing. So it's very rough. So I don't know. I have my goals. I'm written somewhere. I gotta go over them today and just make sure everything gets done.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed on your social media. You're always doing something different. You're like wrestling one day, then you're doing something else, then you're doing something else, then you got an interview here. So I'm like, damn, this lady is always working. Like it never
That's what she
stops.
said. She said she was very busy. She's always on the move, but that's deservedly so. I mean, you are definitely someone that a lot of people want to, talk to and get to know and see a lot of, especially, in the ring, because your work in the ring is awesome. It's refreshing to see a woman, fight the kind of style that you fight, and be as aggressive as you are. And that like I said, that's what I like about seeing you in AEW. Like I say, not knowing much about you, but to see more of your work. I'm a fan. You have a new fan.
Thank you.
I definitely want to see grow more, and can't wait to see what more you do.
Thank you so much.
Now, as far as merch, I know you talk about your deal with NWA, and they're pretty lean as far as like letting you work with AEW. I know a lot of companies, they pretty much when you sign to a bigger company, they kind of take cuts of this, that, and the third, and they're kind of really controlling. With you being with NWA, as far as your merch and everything like that, if you wanted to print up a shirt today and like, hey, I want to sell this, or if you just want to do anything strictly for you, do you have to necessarily run that through NWA if it's not wrestling related?
No, I own my own name, so
Oh, damn.
I do my own merchandise. I have my own
That,
website too.
that is plug it in, please.
It's thunderrosa.net. I have a bunch of new 8x10s, and all my t-shirts are running out. So if you want to order them now, because it's gonna take me about a month to get new t-shirts.
Hey, Tuco, man, you heard it, man. 2 orders right now.
Right, most definitely. Double XL for me. I'm good. I
I guess.
want one with the face paint. I gotta have that one. That's what I want.
I still have like 2 or 3. Those are like my most popular ones, definitely.
Yeah,
Really?
I want that one.
All right. So last thing for Thunder Rosa. We talked about AEW. We talked about NWA. We talked about Japan. But I want to talk to you really quick about Wild Women of Wrestling.
Mhm.
How did that come about? Because to me, that was the first time I seen a promotion that was by women for women. How was that environment like for you? Working with a bunch of top tier women and it's strictly being just to focus on you guys. We talked about women wrestling. That show was catered strictly for you. How was that?
It was a learning experience again. The first season was I was working as Cobra Moon. Second season I was working as Serpentine. Again, every company that I work, it's a learning experience. I take the best and take the worst out of it. So when I'm doing stuff on my own, I don't do that kind of stuff, right? So WoW definitely was one of the places that made me want to run an all-run female promotion, and I'm talking about from the ring to the back, right? Staff, ring crew, everybody, to really empower women in a very different way. The matches were cool. I mean, it was a cool experience. A lot of my friends were working there. It was in LA. I like going to LA. I have a lot of friends out there. So when we went out there, it was cool. It was, like I said, it was, I mean, I don't know, because again, it's not Thunder Rosa, so it's kind of, I gotta put this character over again. I gotta redo everything. I mean, people liked it, but it was never like I never got to see like the final result because the last season wasn't aired. So
Gotcha.
I don't know what to tell you in terms of like how it would have affected me financially and everything else.
Now, with you changing your name, was that something you decided to do, or was that a company thing?
No, they asked me to do a masked wrestler. Like I said, people didn't want Thunder Rosa. And the only ones that wanted Thunder Rosa was NWA, and then now it's AEW. And as you can see, it's actually pretty good for them because people are talking about the product and then talking about the matches and talking about that. So, like again, like those experiences that I had, I take them as what they wear. And yes, I wear a mask, and then I had cool matches and everything, but it didn't translate to what I wanted to translate to. So.
Tuco, man, you got any last thoughts or questions for Miss Thunder Rosa before we get off?
Yeah, I did. I forgot. There was one I wanted to ask about the name, Cobra Moon. What? Why did you change from that name to Thunder Rosa? Even though I see now Thunder Rosa is the better name, but was that a name that you liked, or was that something someone that the company came up with and they were trying to push on you?
Thunder Rosa was my name. Cobra Moon was for Lucha Underground. It was not like a choice. It was It was given.
Okay. Okay. Well, other than that, I meant to ask about it earlier, but other than that, no. I just thank you for taking the time to to speak with us. Like I say, we very excited that to see what you do with Britt Baker going forward. Definitely want to see you get that title rematch with the NWA, or possibly, hey, why not go for the AEW championship? You might as well. But no, thank you very much for taking the time out with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, have a nice day.
You too.
All
All right, bye.
Bye.